Hey guys, it's Justine here from I Should Read That, and today is the start of a weekend reading vlog. I actually meant to get back to vlogging this week, but it's been so busy that I just haven't really had a chance, and I'll talk about why I was busy in a minute. But I am home. It is Friday at lunchtime. I'm working from home today because I had a doctor's appointment, and it's lunchtime, so I am actually going to be doing some reading. I've got Angel Mage here. I'm so close to being done with this. But I stopped vlogging for a while just because it was a lot of pressure, but I feel like I've got some fun stuff coming up soon. So I thought that I might as well, do shorter vlogs because the week-long ones are just long. And so I'm going to do a weekend reading vlog. I don't actually know how much I'm going to get done this weekend in terms of reading because it is going to be a busy weekend. So this week's been busy just in general. So Monday and Tuesday were kind of normal. And then on Wednesday, we went through to London for the launch of my sister's book, which is really exciting. I got to interview her, chair her event and all that, which was really good fun. We got back late on Wednesday night and then worked on Thursday, and I went to the Jim Kay event at the Blackwells in the Westgate in Oxford. And Jim Kay is the one who does the illustrations for the illustrated Harry Potter books. Lovely man. I want to be his best friend. He is an absolute delight. He's just an amazing person. He showed a ton of his artwork and his drawings, and some of the ones that got rejected for being too scary from Goblet of Fire, which were awesome. And it was such a good event. I went with a couple of my coworkers, and then we went back to one of their flats and we watched the latest episode of the UK Drag Race, which was awesome. So I got back late last night, and I had fully intended to vlog at some point this week, but now it's Friday. So this is gonna be a weekend reading vlog. For the majority of my lunchtime, I am going to be reading Angel Mage by Garth Nix. Look how close I am to the end. This is laughable. So I'm on page 494 of 534 pages, so I am so incredibly close to the end. I'm 40 pages from the end, if my math is correct. It may not be, but I have some mixed thoughts on this book. I am actually going to do a full review, and I promise I will. Sometimes I say I'll do a full review and then I don't, but I am actually planning to do a full review of this book tonight, and then I'll have that up at some point. There's a lot of really good stuff in this book, but it's kind of a little bit messy. I feel like there was a lot that could have been cut out, a lot that could have changed, and it would have benefited the story overall. So I am really close to the end of this book. I have been reading this for 2 weeks. I feel like my reading has slowed down a lot, but I've realized that I've just been reading a ton of really long books. So again, this is 534 pages. I also read Dark Dawn, which is over 500 pages. I read The Bone Ships, which is almost 500 pages. I read A Little Hatred, which is over 500 pages. I've been reading a lot, but they've been these big chunky fantasy books. So that is probably part of the reason that I've been tearing my hair out over how little I've been reading. I need to get some perspective. But after I finish this, I've got Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha Nian. It's on the shelf, just behind you guys, somewhere over here, and I can't see it, but I know it's there. So I haven't grabbed it off the shelf, but there's actually a official read-along for Girls of Paper and Fire done by the publisher, which is Hotterscape here in the UK, and some book bloggers that I know, which is going to be really exciting. So that starts today, which is great timing because that means I'm going to be done with Angel Mage and have to pick up a new book anyway. So I am going to read Girls of Paper and Fire, which is a book I've been putting off for a long time because of its content. It does have some sexual assault and stuff in it. And the book is all about healing from trauma and all of that. And it sounds really good, and I have a arc of the next book, the second book, which I believe comes out in November, on my Kindle from NetGalley. I've been wanting to read these for so long, and I just never really had the chance, never really kind of felt ready to read them, but I am going to go ahead and pick up Girls of Paper and Fire, hopefully tonight, definitely this weekend though. So I will let you guys know all of my thoughts on Girls of Paper and Fire. I've been having some trouble with YA fantasy recently. I feel like I haven't consistently read it since the spring, but I feel like I'm back in the mood for some YA fantasy, something that's really pacey and not necessarily fun, but you know what I mean, something that's gonna be a good, enjoyable read. So we'll see how this goes. Tomorrow, Author Sister is coming over in the afternoon. She's going to stay over with us, and on Sunday is the Oxford Half Marathon, which Author Sister and Scottish Husband, I almost flipped those, are both going to be running. I do not run, so I'm going to be cheering them on from the sidelines, so we may have some footage of that, but you'll have to stay tuned.
Hello, Sophia. This is not particularly helpful, although I'm glad that you're sitting with me. Oh, don't do that.
Are you done? No. Okay. This is fine. Totally fine.
Hi, Dax.
We're just doing some light staring, aren't we? Yep. Hello! Okay, so it's still Friday. Work is done. I've successfully finished the day and the weekend is here. So Scottish Husband has left to go to his thing in London, so I am here in the flat by myself and it's going to be a fabulous reading evening. First I have to run some errands. I am going to go to my doctor and set up like an online account thingy, which would be quite nice instead of having to phone them in because I am a millennial and I hate the phone, so it'd be nice to do everything online. And then I'm going to go to the grocery store and get some stuff for making cookies and for making some more bread, two things that I very much enjoy because, as I think I said earlier, my sister is going to be over tomorrow and they're going to be running a half marathon, which is a really good excuse to eat lots of nice food. So, just in terms of reading, I finished Angel Mage by Garth Nix. This will probably be a 3-star for me. I'm really struggling with the rating because there's so much good stuff in here, some amazing stuff, and I feel like if you had the chance to dive deeper into some of those things, it would have been really great. There's too many points of view. There's a couple of characters who are really fantastic, and I really wish that you had the chance to kind of delve deeper into those characters, but there's 5 points of view, and I think it would have been better with just 2. I'll get into this all in a review. So I finished this, and now I have Girls of Paper and Fire. I am going to be participating in the official read-along for this book. It takes place over the entire month of October. So by the time this video goes up, this first section will only have just started, which is really nice. So you guys can go ahead and take part as well if you're interested. If you have put off this book for whatever reason and you are now interested in reading it, like me, this is the perfect time to do it. So this is my Fairy Loot edition. It's got those lovely pages, and we're going to be dividing this into a few sections. So I went ahead and did that. So the very first section over this first week, we are going to be reading chapters 1 through 10, and then the following week will be chapters 11 through 24, and then we'll go ahead and finish up the book. So I'm really excited for this. I think this is going to be really good. I am hoping that this will make me fall in love with YA fantasy once more. We'll see how it goes. I have very, very high hopes for this. So I'm not going to aim to read this entire first chunk tonight. We'll see how it goes. But I'm going to try to stretch this out over the entire month and not read ahead or read ahead too much. I may eat those words later. I don't know. But this should be really good. And tonight, because I'm going to be doing lots of baking and good stuff like that, pardon me, Cersei Lannister, I am reading the audiobook for Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. I've actually tried this book in the past. I tried to read this copy and I could not get into it. It may be that I just wasn't in the right mood or whatever, but it's super gloomy out. It's super fall weather, and I feel like that's a really good time for a mystery crime thriller. So we'll see how this goes. It'll be my second chance. If I don't get into it or I don't enjoy it, that's just one book off the TBR, which is fine. And then because this is an audiobook, I feel like it doesn't count towards all the stuff that I'm reading at the moment. I want to have another physical book on the go. So I'm not sure what that will be. Maybe I was thinking of The Sharp Edge of a Snowflake. It's been staring at me all day, but this would be just another YA crime novel, and I don't like to read multiple books in the same genres at the same time. I can do it with fantasy because there's so many different subgenres of fantasy, but I feel like YA crime is specific enough that that might not work. So I'm gonna kind of peruse the shelves. I'm feeling much more inspired to read lately, which is really, really nice. As I said before, I've just been reading so many big chunky fantasy books that I want to read some slimmer stuff. I want to read some different stuff. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. But I've got some slim volumes on my shelf that I think are calling to me. So I'll make a decision about that later. Tonight I'm probably going to focus a little bit more on Girls of Paper and Fire and Truly Devious while I'm doing stuff. So it is Friday night. It's about 11 o'clock at night, which is well past my usual bedtime, but I have been pottering around, hanging out, having a good time with the cats, who are currently sitting just outside the frame in the doorway staring at me. But it's been a good evening. I have done a little bit of reading. Well, okay, I've done a lot of reading tonight. I read about 35 pages of Girls of Paper and Fire, but as I said in my last thingy, I'm going to be reading that really slowly. So that's a really good start and I like where the story's going, but I'm going to try to like read along with the read along. I don't want to like get ahead or anything, so it's about 100 pages a week. So 35 pages in one day is pretty good. So I'll probably pick that up again maybe, you know, on Sunday or Monday and kind of keep going with that really slowly. I have also been listening to the audiobook for Truly Devious. I've spent most of the night listening to this. This is how far I am. I'm listening to the audiobook, obviously, but this is 274 pages out of, oh God, just over 400. So I've been listening to quite a lot. I'm really enjoying it. I'm enjoying it so much more than when I tried to read it a while ago. There was something about Stevie that I just really didn't like. And I think that having someone else's voice in my head for Stevie is really handy. So, oh God, sorry. So I am going to be continuing this tomorrow. We're going to do more tidying and stuff in anticipation of Julia's arrival, author sister's arrival. So I'll probably finish this tomorrow. And I wanted to have something else kind of on deck. And I have a couple of options, but my next physical book, I think, will be Illuminae by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. I had this in my popular books I've never read video, which I did a couple months ago. I think I'll link it down below if I remember. And I said in that video that I really didn't enjoy Aurora Rising. I DNF'd that book. I really didn't enjoy it. I didn't like the characters, the plot, or the writing or anything really in that book. But I do really feel like this is going to be one that I will enjoy. And I had a lot of people actually in that video comment and say that they didn't like Aurora Rising, but they really like the Illuminae Chronicles, or Illuminae Files, whatever it's called. And I've had this on my shelf since Yalk of 2017. This is one of the first books I bought at Yalk that year. So yeah, I'm really interested in this, and I love mixed media books. So if you're unfamiliar with Illuminae, it's like not a straightforward kind of narrative. So it's like cobbled together from like interviews and government documents and instant messages and all of this stuff. So really looking forward to this. I want to get back to sci-fi, as I keep saying in a bunch of videos, and I've not actually done that yet. So I think that this is going to be a really good transitioning point, and honestly it'll be such a good one to knock off on my TBR because I've had it on there for so long. For now, I think I am done with my audiobook for the night. I'm going to put Truly Devious aside until tomorrow because if I keep listening, I'm going to get way too close to the end and then I'm going to stay up till like 3 o'clock in the morning finishing it up. Probably more likely like 2 o'clock in the morning. And it's a Friday, but like I haven't done that in a long time. I'm 31. I'm not like 22 anymore. I don't do late nights anymore. So I think that I will go ahead and take Illuminae to bed and we'll see how this goes. I'm really excited to read this. I have been really apprehensive for a long time, but it's been staring at me from my shelf, so I decided to pull it down. I will keep you guys in the loop as to how I feel about this. So it is Saturday morning. It's about 10:45 in the morning, and I have just finished Truly Devious. That makes 2 books finished in 2 days, which is pretty awesome, especially given the fact that I basically started this yesterday. I think it was like half an hour into the audiobook when I started reading this yesterday. I really enjoyed this, but I was not expecting it to not wrap up. I was not expecting to have to go on to a sequel to get the full story. which is kind of a shame, but I suppose I'll forgive her. I know The Vanishing Stair, which is the second one, is out now, and I think the third one, which I don't know the name of off the top of my head, but has a green cover, I think, is coming out in the spring, perhaps. So yeah, I'm looking forward to picking up The Vanishing Stair next, but I might wait until the third and final book is out. I think it's the final book. But I really enjoyed this. It was different from what I was expecting, as I say, but it was still a really enjoyable kind of mystery, and I am a little bit more intrigued. This usually happens when there's like a historical and modern kind of split timeline. I am much more intrigued by the stuff that happened in the past, the kind of Ellingham case, which is the case that brings Stevie to this school. She wants to solve this murder that happened in the 1930s. And then there's another like incident that happens at the school while she's there, and I was less interested in that, much more interested in the historic case, but that's okay. I am probably going to give this 3.5 or 4 stars. So my main physical read when I'm not reading Girls of Paper and Fire is going to be Illuminae. I read the first 40 pages before bed last night, and I'm intrigued, but I'm not super into the story yet. But to be fair, I'm on page 40 of like 600, so I've still got some time. But I really like, I know that some people might not like this, but I really like the kind of mixed media. I am still adjusting to like where I should look on the page first, because there's like, let me find a good example. There's like you know, an email, but it's got like a briefing note at the top. You kind of have to like look around the page before you really get started. I don't know if that's the case like throughout the entire book, but it has happened a couple of times. So it's a little bit of an adjustment, but I am enjoying it. I think that I probably need to stop putting off tidying the flat and actually tidy the flat. I did some yesterday while I was listening to Truly Devious, but I need to actually like go and do some grown-up things, some adulting, and then I will get back to reading later today. So it's Saturday afternoon. It's probably about 1 o'clock. I didn't actually bother to check, but I was inspired by my friend Jess, who's a booktuber here in UK booktube land, and I'll link her channel down below, but she has this whole Library Loves campaign that's going on, and I believe it's Library Week here in the UK right now. So I am going to, don't mind the Roomba, she's going in the background. I am going to go ahead and head to the library. I'm going to pay off my excruciatingly high fees. I didn't return a lot of books for a long time when I was having some mental health trouble, so I have some very high library fees, and I'm going to go hunt down some new books. There are some books that I would love to read but don't necessarily feel the need to own, because I do have so many books here, things that I can read through really quickly, for example. So I think they have a copy of The Right Swipe by Alicia Rai in my local library, and I'm hoping it's still there because it was there on like Wednesday or Thursday, so I'm after that. And I don't know what else I'll find. It's a pretty small branch, but they usually have a pretty good selection. So I'm going to go do that, and I'll report back on anything I get. Night, and it's time to wrap up this vlog. I didn't really vlog much on Saturday for the evening or today during the day because my sister was over. I don't like to vlog when I'm around family because I'd rather spend time with my family, but it was a really good time. Scottish husband made us all dinner, which was excellent, very, very good. And then we started watching Supernatural. We watched the first 2 episodes of Supernatural, which is a show that I really loved for the first 5 seasons, and then got real confused in season 6 and 7 and stopped watching. But they've never seen it before, but I have a lot of really good memories associated with Supernatural, so we're gonna watch the whole thing and make it like a project, which should be really fun. So we did that, and then we watched Rocky Horror afterwards because we're doing like a spooky movie marathon type thing. Normally we sync up with my sister who's in London and then us who are in Oxford, and we like message each other the entire time, but since we were all over in one place, we decided to watch a film together in the same room, which doesn't always happen. So that was another addition to our spooky movie marathon, which we've done The Wicker Man, and we did another one, I can't remember off the top of my head, the other week. So that was really good fun. They did the half marathon today successfully, and I should have inserted some footage before this. Hopefully that's gone in. And it was just a really good day. Mum and Dad came down and we all had lunch together, their victory lunch, and then Scottish husband and I like passed out for 3 hours. We took a really long nap. So it was a very, very good day. But in terms of reading, I decided to DNF Illuminae. I got 118 pages and I cannot get into this book. I don't care about the characters, I don't care about the plot, nothing, and I think part of that might be the fact that it is a mixed media book, and I really enjoy mixed media, but it has to be done in a way where I really feel like I know these people and I care about these people, and so far it doesn't feel like that. So I might pick this up again another day, I don't really know, but this wasn't doing it for me. There's something about J. Kristoff. Maybe it's just Nevernight and God's Grave were books that worked for me and nothing else he's written has? I don't really know. But I didn't like Aurora Rising, I didn't like Dark Dawn, and now I haven't liked Illuminae, so maybe he's just kind of a lost cause for me and I had those like 2 anomalies. I don't really know. So sorry guys, I know that there are a lot of people wanting me to read this, but it just wasn't really my thing, sadly. So just to recap everything that I talked about in this reading vlog, I finished Angel Mage by Garth Nix, which I now have a full video review for, which I'm really pleased with. It's a really good one. So I am going to give this 3 to 3.5 stars. I enjoyed this very much, although it wasn't my favorite thing, obviously. I started Girls of Paper and Fire, which I am going to be reading slowly over the course of the month, along with the Girls of Paper and Fire readathon, or read-along, that the publisher is doing. So we have the first, 10 chapters to read this week, which I will definitely do. I'm on page 35 and it's just over 100 pages to read this week, which is super, super doable. I'm really looking forward to this. I've enjoyed what I've read so far. And then I really enjoyed Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. I listened to the audiobook. However, I was really thrown off by the fact that this doesn't wrap up in one book. I really don't feel like anything wrapped up. I feel like even the one of the 2 mysteries kind of has a little bit of a conclusion, but it's kind of open-ended, so I don't really think anything wrapped up in this, which I feel is just so anti-crime novel. I was really thrown off by that. So this is probably a 3.5 star read for me. And then of course we have Illuminae, which I did decide to DNF. So that was a really good weekend for reading. I am really happy that I decided to vlog this weekend and talk with you guys. I feel like I am getting back to YA in a way that I haven't in a really long time. I did kind of burn out on it for a while, and I haven't read it in a big way probably since the spring. I've really been focusing on adult books. So I'm so happy that I'm back to YA. I'm really happy that I'm enjoying these books again, and this was, again, a great reading weekend for me. I'm going to be doing another reading vlog next weekend because next weekend is the Off the Grid readathon. I have not set a TBR. I probably won't until the day comes. It will run from Friday to Sunday of this week, which I believe is the 18th of October it will start. And the Off the Grid readathon is the best, most low-key readathon ever because you don't need to participate the whole time. You don't have any challenges. There are no Twitter sprints. There's no like maps. There's nothing. The only purpose of this readathon is to set your phone aside, put it in another room, and just read some books. I always have a really good time doing this readathon. I have had varying levels of success with it, but it's always a really good time, so definitely join us for that, and you'll see me vlog that next weekend. I would love to know what you have read this week, if you've read any of these books, if you enjoyed them, didn't enjoy them, definitely let me know. I post bookish content to this channel fairly frequently, so go ahead and hit subscribe, check back soon, and I will see you next time.